हम्पी नगरी को पुनर्स्थापित करने हेतु किए प्रयास, इस विषय पर श्री कृष्ण देवराय जी हमारा मार्गदर्शन करेंगे। तत्पूर्व हम उनका परिचय जानकर लेते हैं। विजयनगर को हिंदू साम्राज्य स्थापित करने वाले सम्राट कृष्ण देवराय जी ने इस भव्य विजयनगर साम्राज्य की स्थापना की। हिंदू साम्राज्य को वैभव संपन्न बनाने वाले, हिंदू धर्म को गौरवान्वित करने वाले श्री कृष्ण देवराय जी के प्रति हम हिंदू सदैव कृतज्ञ हैं। आज उनके वंशज श्री कृष्ण देवराय जी हमारे साथ उपस्थित है। वो हमें हम्पी नगरी को पुनर्स्थापित करने हेतु किए प्रयास, इस विषय पर मार्गदर्शन करेंगे। मैं उनसे विनती करता हूँ कि हमें इस विषय पर मार्गदर्शन करें।
Namaskar. I'll be talking about the Vijayanagara Hampi temples. Vijayanagar Empire, the bulwark which stood against invaders who aimed to lay low our nation and civilization, not only defended the existing institution, but also created several new indigenous cultural and religious institutions. The empire stood as a beacon of hope and an image of strength, proclaiming to the world that the Bharatiya way of life shall not meekly surrender to foreign forces which aimed at its obliteration. Various traditional institutions of the land, like temples, mathas, chatrams, were renovated and built anew by the rulers of this empire in keeping with the traditions of this land. Indian technology, know-how in water management, agricultural practices, industry were put to full use, and a prosperous empire was created from the ashes that were left by the invasion of Malik Kafur and Ulugh Khan in southern India. The city of Vijayanagara, considered as the greatest metropolis of its time, was a standing testimony to the greatness of this empire and the Indian genius. Every single aspect of the city, from its various irrigation canals, ponds, tanks, and aqueducts, to the fortification, temples, roads, bridges, and royal enclosure, was a matter of wonder to the contemporary world in its era. It was a remnant of the strong, great, rich, and powerful Bharat, which defiantly stood against barbarian invaders. Throughout the empire, temples were built by the rulers as expression of devotion towards the indigenous deities of this land. They also played as a vital role in ensuring the economic and cultural prosperity of the people. The legacy of the empire is felt even today. We see that southern Indian territories ruled by this empire has a maximum number of ancient and medieval Hindu temples and institutions which have survived into modern era. Also, the traditional cultural mores and rituals of this land have been better preserved in this part of the country. The capital of this great empire, the city of Vijayanagara, which is known as Hampi today, is home to several magnificent structures which stand as testimony to the genius of the Hindu artisans of medieval period. That the empire primarily stood for the cultural traditions of this nation is well established, but the fact that the grandeur of the surviving grand temples eclipses the non-religious royal sections of the ruined city. In one of the most unfortunate episodes of our history, this great city was destroyed by the invading sultanates in 1565. The bigoted invaders spent 6 months in the city, destroying the beautiful temples and killing tens of thousands in an act of unparalleled savagery and iconoclasm. Despite such targeted iconoclasm, the remnants of the great empire stand even now. For the believing Sanatani Hindus, temples are abodes of their gods. It is believed that gods never abandon their temples which have been dedicated to them. Hindus throughout century have always aimed to restart worship in the temples which were desecrated. Somnath, Kashi, Mathura were revived multiple times. The temples of Tamil Nadu underwent massive drive for restoration and restart of worship post the defeat of Madurai Sultanate in the 14th century. Vijayanagar Empire played a major role in revival of desecrated temples and helped in revitalization of the indigenous faith of this nation. That the deities never abandon their temple is something which is legally accepted as well. In the recent judgment regarding Ayodhya dispute, the fact has been accepted by the Supreme Court of India as well. The rights of Bhagwan Shri Ram Lala over his temple have been recognized by the court, even though nearly 5 centuries have passed since the temple destruction and its illegal occupation by some structure built by the invaders. In the case of Hampi temples, there is no such illegal occupation to be removed at present. The ruins simply remain as such. Legally, the deities still own their temples without a doubt. Today, the temples of the empire's capital city wait for revival of worship. Such revival is neither impossible nor cumbersome. After all, similar revival of worship by installation of murtis has been done in Vijayanagara era temples of Tamil Nadu post-independence. Example, the Jalakanteshwara temple in Vellore and Vithala temple of Vitthalapuram near Mamalapuram. Even in Hampi, revival of worship in Malyavanta Raghunatha temple happened in the early 20th century only. Vitthalapuram temple is the latest example, since the temple was renovated during the 2000-2006 and now daily pujas are offered since 2006. Restoration of the temple has been done with the help of ASI by the devotees of Vithala, and the temple is now maintained by ASI and the devotees. Such a method must be adopted for the grand temples of Hampi. The heritage value of the temples shall be retained and their original grandeur shall be brought out before the world without causing any hindrance to the worship of the deities by the faithful. The grand temples of Hampi, which proclaim to the world the greatness of the native civilization of this land, should not be allowed to remain as mere ruins. After all, we are not Egyptians or Greek pagans who were obliterated by invisible forces. More than 1 billion Hindus live in this nation of ours, and we serve our gods faithfully. To convert our place of worship into mere museums without worship is an insult to our ancestors as well as the faith of the contemporary Hindus. It is proposed that the temples which were relatively intact shall be selected for restart of puja initially. The ancient city was built with Hazara Rama temple as the center of the city. The empire was envisaged as restoration of Ramarajya, with Shri Rama occupying the center of the capital. Also, Hampi was the site of Kishkinda from the times of Ramayana. Hanuman was born in Anjanadri. Shri Rama started his campaign against Ravana from this holy land. Now that Ram has been enshrined properly in his Janmabhumi, his Karma Bhumi, Kishkinda, is awaiting reclamation. After all, Rama attained his greatness in the minds of Indian public through his destruction of evil demons, Ravana and his minions, which campaign was started from this very land of Hampi, Kishkinda. It is befitting that restoration of worship in the city should begin with Hazara Rama temple, given that Rama Janmabhoomi has been reclaimed recently and the civilizational goals of attaining a Surajya, which can be compared to Ramarajya, is recognized by the people as well. The Hazara Rama temple is mostly intact and merely requires pranapatishta of the murtis to restart daily worship. It is requested that we start the revival of Vijayanagara temples with the revival of Hazara Rama temple. Just as Vitthalapuram temple has been resuscitated with the help of ASI and the devotees, the same model shall be adopted here. Traditional Vishwakarma experts in Vastu and Shilpa Shastra must be employed to get this restoration and revival completed. Vijayanagara Ujjivani Charitable Trust has been formed with the purpose of resuscitation of the temples of Vijayanagara. The organization shall function towards bringing together the devotees, traditional sthapatis, and religious heads who shall work hand in hand with the ASI in revival of our temples in Hampi. The temples shall once again reverberate with sounds of puja conducted as per the traditional sampradayas. It is seen that the average Indian is more religious than hedonist. More than mere secular tourism, it is yatra which sustains domestic travel industry. Every form of economic perspective, the revival of pujas in these ancient temples shall give a flip to the tourism industry as more devotees shall flock to these temples. The grand ancient temples are still intimately connected with the economic prosperity of the land. We shall take up the cause for restoration of temple in Hampi, starting with Maryada Purushottama, Shri Ram. Ram unites the nation unlike any other. He is not only our God, but also a warrior king whose rule is remembered as the best in our history and who stands as the epitome of just ruler. Anti-nationals try to deny this pan-Indian importance of Ram, since they know that he is the reason why the Indian consciousness was awakened from its slumber and is reasserting its identity now. To restart worship in the renovated Hazara Rama temple will be a physical answer to those who attempt a north-south divide by trying to deny the overarching presence of Rama in every corner of Indian subcontinent and consciousness. We request support for revival of Vijayanagara temples. This shall go a long way in re-establishing our way of life as well as bringing of Hindus together in their veneration towards Desha and Dharma, which is the need of the hour. Thank you very much.